Good evening, everyone. I'm going to try and make this quick. We're going politics right now. It's December 17th, 2019, and the President Trump impeachment process is in place. I believe the committee voted to approve the impeachment articles. I believe there were two: obstruction of Congress, and I don't know what the other one is. I'm not sure if it went to the full Congress for a vote or not yet. I'm sure if it hasn't, it will be approved, and if it has, I'm sure it's been approved. It's tough to keep track of all the news because I would like to watch multiple channels and hear from both sides. I'm definitely not spoon-fed by any organization. However, there are some commentators that I appreciate their value and their opinion more than others. Having said that, here's my quick glimpse. I don't think the Democrats have a very interesting argument. At the end of the day, they're, I believe, the hub of the crime they are claiming the president has committed is one of the quid pro quo, the bribery. And I'm not 100% sure that that's not the way diplomacy has happened in our country for a very long time. I'm kind of positive that that's kind of the way diplomacy happens. There's a lot of things I'd like to see them go after President Trump for, but they never will because these are the same things that they are all guilty of as well, specifically just the war crimes of invading countries and pulling operations. I do not believe that President Trump has reduced the amount of the defense in international fields. I do believe that President Bush and I do believe that President Obama both have committed war crimes and atrocities to humanity for a variety of the crimes, for a variety of the methods that were used during the war, and specifically some of the weapons that were used. But back to the impeachment. I don't think it's an impeachable offense, and I also think that their argument, they keep driving this argument, and then every time they come up with a detail or a specific aspect of the argument, the Republicans seem to debunk that with this detail or that detail. And then the Democrats seem to say that their debunking has been debunked. So the Democrats stand behind the Comey report, as do a lot of people. Just accept that, the whole idea that Russia interfered with our elections. I think in 2016, we can assume, and in 2020, we can assume that we interfere with Russia's elections and they will interfere with ours. I think that's just a given. I'm pretty sure you could look up a variety of places that the United States has interfered with the election process of other countries. I'm not 100% sure if it's so widely believed that we have actively attempted to interfere with Russian elections, but I'm sure that there are countries, the type of stuff that CIA goes in and changes, stuff. They make protests and stuff like that. Having these protesters from foreign country waving American flags and crying for their Second Amendment rights. It's all CIA stuff. But the Democrats never seem to really, when they debunk what the Republicans say, they're not really valid debunkations of their argument. Let's take, for example, when the president was first, honest to God, I think it was still during the election, but it may have been after he was elected. There was the story of the Russian prostitutes who like to urinate on the president. Okay, and that, unless I've been misled by the media, that has come from the Steele dossier. And the Republicans identified the Steele dossier very early on. When all this Russiagate stuff started happening, the Republicans identified the Steele dossier as being a bad document. And not only being a bad document, but they also identified that it was the primary document used in the attempt to convince the FISA court of the warrants that were used to spy on the Trump campaign. Yeah, it was. It was still during the campaign. Now, I get it. They didn't really spy on him because the Democrats all believe spy means one thing as it's defined by one set of dictionary definition, and the Republicans believe that when the president says spy, it means a less strict legal use of the word, but a more colloquial use of the word, specifically given the fact that in the modern age, spying can be completely different. All you have to do is bug somebody's phone. And then, you know what I mean? Like with software, not like actually wiretap. Like I'll not actually take a piece of copper, tap it onto their wire and listen in. No, we don't really wiretap anything anymore. There's no wires to tap. So the Russians are like, the Steele dossier is just a bunch of crap. And the Democrats are like, well, now Comey, you can't and they put merit on this, document. Never mind the fact that the underlying documents are being challenged over here. And then they just ignore that. Well, that's what this whole IG report was about like the Steele dossier and the foundations. And then there's the other one, I could get it wrong, but I think it might be the Horowitz report, or I think that's the IG report. It's the other one coming out. But then they say they don't know when the hell it's coming out, like maybe in June. Come on. But the Democrats, their arguments just seem to be like crap. The Republicans are arguing, their arguments are more valid. Now they're arguing for, a disgusting, fleshy bit of a man named Donald Trump. But, he's not much of a leader. But it's borderline comical watching how he's doing what he's doing. See, none of the most recent presidents have been leaders. I was born in '72, so I guess it was Gerald Ford then. I don't really know anything about him, but I'm pretty sure he's a warmonger. And then there was, Carter, who I can't say anything wrong about Jimmy Carter. I mean, what the hell? Come on, the dude's a farmer, and he's like 98 years old, and he's banging down houses like every day. I hope he's doing well. I heard he got hurt a couple times recently, like maybe fell. But man, Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama. I mean, talk about just bombing them out of countries and just destroying stuff. My God. Last good president we had was like JFK. Look what they did to him. So they're all crap. But specifically, why the Democrats are going after Trump in this way is just a really lousy argument. And all of the cornerstones of their argument are being challenged aggressively. It's been challenged aggressively for, since day one. Like the Steele dossier came out, and before anyone knew it was the Steele dossier, they just said documents obtained show that, the president was getting peed on by prostitutes. And yet that same Steele dossier, which is pretty sure has been proven to be a bunch of crap, was the foundation to get the tapping or the enhanced reconnaissance devices in place. And that's how they got the whole Comey report and the whole Russiagate. But there's really never been any proof that the president colluded with Russia. But there is proof that as president, he spoke to the leader of the Ukraine. And he will admit what, he admits to. There's debate as to whether the conversation included a quid pro quo about start this investigation up again, and we, we'll give you the billions of dollars or whatever. Yeah, that's your money. That's my money. I don't want to give billions of dollars to Ukraine. I mean, there's an opportunity cost here if it's really going to work, like the long game if it's going to work. But I'm ready to just stop giving all these monies to other countries and just start giving money to people in New Jersey and Pennsylvania, and I really like the country of Wyoming, and Idaho and Texas. Let's give more money to Texas. And while we're at it, let's spread some over there at Mississippi and Alabama, Alaska. Arkansas, you know? Anyway, they got a lousy argument. Republicans have a better counter argument. If it's successful in shaking out the whole trade, then kudos. However, the dude's still dropping bombs, and I'm not a big fan of bombs. Peace. Love you all.